about an 1.75 inches rain that we got, and we planted wheat after that, and then we got another 1/2 inch of rain on Sunday, and then now today another 1/10, maybe 2/10 of rain. So this wheat is gonna come up beautifully. It's gonna give a beautiful stand, and we're not gonna have a problem with this field being blown over in sand like it usually is. This field has next to no water, so any rain that we can get helps out a lot. So first thing we're gonna do today before I go start rock crushing is I got another message on my phone saying another pivot broke down. So we're gonna go see what's wrong with that pivot first, and then we'll go head to the rock crusher after that. Coming here to the field that showed it was stopped. Trying to find the fault, trying to find the tower that has the issue, and it looks relatively straight. Maybe that third tower. I think I'm gonna go to the pivot, turn it on, walk it a ways, try to get it to reveal what tower is not moving, and then we'll go from there. Well, I went to the pivot, put it on 100%, started walking it on reverse because that's the way it was going, and it's still driving. So I don't know what the problem is. I thought it was that third tower, but it seems like all the towers are driving. So now I'll just quickly go back to my phone, put it back down to 1 inch because that's the way it was. Wait for that little guy to load, and it does not take long, and then it switches to the right percent. So I don't know why it just randomly turned off on itself, but it's going again, so it doesn't look like there's anything wrong. I guess it is what it is. If it turns off on me again, then we'll have to see if we can still find another issue, but everything checked out fine. Let's get to servicing. Apparently there's a lot of things that need to be greased on here. Apparently, yeah, there they are. These two grease zerks right there. Apparently the bottom one, you can fit an entire tube in there. That is for that bottom pulley right there. And it's spinning like ridiculously fast, so it requires a lot of grease. There's one on this side and another one on that side, so you go through quite a bit of grease every day. Guess let's get to it. I believe I serviced everything. Apparently that bottom bearing there, that bottom pulley, apparently you have to grease that one so much to where it starts flinging out here. You apparently have to have it idling too, but you grease it until it starts flinging out of there, until it's overflowing, is what I was told. So it's a lot of grease. Apparently sometimes you can even fit a full tube in there, which is quite a bit. Greased all the U-joints, even greased the hitch, even though the hitch doesn't really move much all day, but I still greased it anyway. So I think we're ready to go now. Wonder if we'll get rained out or not. It did rain also 2/10 here last night, so I guess we'll see how well it'll work. If it's too wet, my brother said it will not work, so we'll see what'll happen. Get into the field, see if it actually works or not, or hopefully we'll get rained out. And I gotta turn this dial to where I am creeping at 0.6 miles an hour, or at least that's what I was told. So then turn on the PTO, throttle it up, slowly start creeping away. Now we just sit here going 0.6 miles an hour, rock crushing. like it's piling up there in the front just a little bit, but it looks like it may or may not cause an issue. We'll see. With it being a little bit wetter, I'm pretty sure that would do that a lot more. So we'll see how bad it gets to see if it actually works or not. This is my first time actually physically being in the rock crusher and actually running it. Everyone else has usually been the one running it, so now I'm in here. And the big reason why we're not just raking it and then just doing a few passes across the field is because majority of the rocks on this field are underneath the dirt. You see quite a bit of rocks everywhere, not really on camera, but when you physically look at it, there's a lot of rocks all over the place, but at least half of them are underneath the dirt, about 5 inches deep. So we are going about 8 inches deep right now, so we're for sure getting all the rocks that are anywhere close to the surface, and that's what we want. But we're not doing the entire field. Not the entire field is full of rocks like this. There's a couple of spots on that half where there's no rocks, so we're gonna end up just skipping those spots. If we don't have to run the rock crusher over it, we won't. We're just doing the spots where it's the worst, and this field has it bad. There's a spot here in the middle of the field where there's just a lot more rocks, so I have to slow down to 0.5 instead of 0.6, trying to keep my PTO at 1,000 RPMs. That's what I want to keep it at. Once it goes above 1,000, then, or when it stays at 1,000, then I try to go back to 1.6 just to see if it can hold it. But then if it goes too far down to like 900, then I'll slow down to 0.5 again. But it stays up there 970, so now it's going a little lower. So now if it goes a little lower, then I might slow down again. It's going back up. So just trying to keep an eye out on the RPMs of the PTO, just trying to make sure I'm maintaining a really high RPM. I want to keep it at 1,000 for as long as I possibly can, because that's when it'll do the best job. But so far working good, just working very slowly. Well, it's starting to sprinkle. Let's hope it leads to more, and let's hope we get rained out, because that'd be kind of nice. I'm still sitting here after like 30 minutes, still haven't finished one line. This 0.4 to 0.5 acres an hour. Man, we're moving fast, I tell you. I'm actually gonna call that it for today. Only made one round, but it started sprinkling enough to where all the dirt, you can tell it was a little wetter. It's been drying up now a little bit. Left to go eat lunch for a little bit, but the top layer of dirt was just wet enough to where it didn't want to come into the rock crusher, and it just wanted to slide along and pile up right in front of the rock crusher. So we'll just keep at it tomorrow. For now, I'm gonna go turn off some pivots because we're getting a little bit of rain and a lot more clouds. It hasn't been as hot, so our peanuts are starting to look a little bit yellow. We're gonna turn them off for a few days and then turn them back on, I don't know, maybe Monday, maybe turn them off for 4 days, maybe 4 or 5 days, depending on what it looks like. Maybe turn them on at the end of the week, maybe. We'll see what'll happen. But I'm gonna go turn off a few pivots and then I'll see what else happens. Yeah, the peanuts are turning a little bit yellow. They're getting pretty bad. Not to mention there's a little spot here where it always is more yellow than usual, but now with all the rain all at once and not getting as much rain throughout the summer, now it's kind of making them turn a little bit yellow. So we're wanting to for sure turn off the pivots to where we don't want pod rot. We don't want diseases to start popping up. We want to minimize the risk of any disease in the future, so turning them off for a couple of days will definitely help. The peanuts will need the water, so here in a few days, whatever it may be, we'll turn the pivots back on and give the peanuts their water back. Well, that's gonna do it for today. As always, I do appreciate y'all for watching, and I will see y'all guys in the next video.